What is up, guys? It's your boy Brennan, aka Drip, back in another video, another locals top video. And today, we're playing Tier Zero. I've been wanting to bring this deck list to you guys for a while now. Just been busy trying to gather all the cards and play test. And you know me, I'm not the first one to get it. I try to be the best one to get it. Even though this deck is very straightforward, everybody has the same cards basically, and there's only so much you can do with the deck to maximize its potential. But I try to use very little internet, I try to do everything on my own basically. But I have used a lot of uh, other people's lists on the internet to make mine. But this is a 41 card list, and there is a couple things I am going to change, mainly to the extra deck and the side deck, but we'll get to that when we get there. But I got first place tonight, and I got first place last week. My friends at locals hate me for it, but I apologize. I'm tired of losing. I got on a big losing streak there where I just couldn't win, and it was mainly because I was playing old format decks, and everyone else moved on. So, but let's go ahead and get into this. One thing I will say real quick, go ahead and come back over me. My matches were we played 4 rounds. I had a bye because I got here late, which kind of worked out in my favor because it was the first round. And then round 2, I played against, what did I play against? I played against Branded Bisteel. It kind of hurts because if you don't have Medora or Keldo in Graveyard, they just fucking shit on your kit, and it's hard to recover from that. So that match was really rough for me. It has been the past 2 weeks. I played him in the finals last week. If you watch Locals Live, if you haven't, and what you don't watch live, Brandon, you go watch Locals Live. But it's always a struggle for this deck if you can't get it going. So that's one of the things I want to change, mainly because I want to put a second kit in there. But if I take it to the regionals or YCS, I'll probably just run one. But my round 3, I played against. What did I play against round 3? We only have 3 rounds today?
No, we had 4. You got by.
Oh, yeah, I played against Dino.
Yeah.
Poor guy, I feel bad. I 2-0'd him pretty quickly. I made a lot of misplays in that game, too. I could have shuffled back his Misk after I negated it, his discard effect, but I forgot to do that. But, yeah, I'm still learning this deck. But I played Dino, and then in the finals I played against Sprite, against my boy Eric. It was really nice getting to play against Sprite. I haven't played against Sprite in a while, but yeah, let's go ahead and get into this profile, guys. Start off, everything is kind of standard. This card is absolutely disgusting. If anything gets hit on the list, this is probably going to be the card that gets hit in the actual engine. Havness is actually disgusting. The fact it allows you to play on turn 0 and allows you to have so much advantage, it's absolutely crazy. Being able to make a kit or being able to make a Roll Kalos on your opponent's turn is actually disgusting. So yeah, 3, and I've actually only run 1. I want to run 2, but I'm not going to lie to you. Since playtesting, I have not missed the second one mainly because it forces your opponent to actually be running DD Crow to actually out this card, or to get rid of this card. But I do kind of want to run a second one, make room for a second one just for that purpose, because they can't hit this with their Bisteels because it's a water. And on top of that, its graveyard effect is not that good. The only time its graveyard effect ever really comes up is if you didn't open optimal and subpar, and you want to be able to try to get into your fusion so you can get rid of a dead one. Like if you have a dead Havness in hand turn 1 and you want to get rid of it and you mill with something and you manage to hit this, then that's the only really out. The only real way to that its graveyard effect comes up and is ever needed. Then I got 3 Pellerino. In this version, and in Tearlaments with the Ishizu, this card is mandatory. There's no way you cannot play this deck without this card. In the mirror match, whoever gets this card wins. I've yet to play a mirror match. I really want to play a mirror match because I want my brain to explode. But this card is actually disgusting. So many times I've actually forgot to activate this card's effect to pop because I just not used to playing with it. And this deck has so much going on and so much utility. It's just hard for me to keep track of sometimes because I'm not used to it. I'm used to playing mid-range decks that they do things, but they don't do as much as this deck does. But I know I've built budget versions in the past, but this deck cannot play without this card. You need this card. There's no way around it. You can't play Tearlaments ishizu without it. And then the rest of the Tearlaments cards, we got 2 Scream, and then one heartbeat. The one heartbeat is mandatory. I see people citing this card. I do not agree with that. This card is absolutely mandatory. This card, from I know a million times for me, it's shuffled back a serious cards, like Judgments. It's shuffled back Super Polys. This card has just done a lot for me. And then I know the two Scream is kind of like weird because some people are like, oh, the second Scream kind of breaks you because it doesn't do nothing for you going second. You are absolutely correct on that. But my thing is I want to get one access to me, and I want to mill one. Because if I get access to one, then I'm plussing so hard it's absolutely disgusting. Because I want to have this plus with my additional interruptions, and if I mill this, I could just add a trap, so it doesn't make it makes it to where if I go the Baron line, I don't have to use Baron to pop this to add back one of my milled traps if I mill one of my traps. So having this as an additional interruption is really nice. Definitely considering, let's say you didn't open very optimal and you didn't get to Scream, and you have this and your opponent like Dark Rulers you still have mills with this just being on board from you having a name on board just by this card. So the fact that you have that to your the expense is absolutely disgusting. And then the last two Tearlament cards is one Solic and one Scream. I was running two Solic and one Scream, or just two Scream. I mean not Scream, but Crime. Sorry, Crime. This is what I meant when I was talking about if I said Scream over there. Crime. Crime is mandatory because if you open like your ishizu cards and you can mill them basically to mill, and they've already like basically DD Crow / Bestialed your kit. You absolutely need this to try to foolish this to get this engraved to be able to get your kit back in the game if you only run one kit. Without this in the main, if they banish your kit, you're just losing. You're not winning that game. There's no way you can come back because there's no other way to get access to her again. Hence why I'm playing. I'm probably going to add another kit to this just for my locals. Shizu is very standard. Best one in the freaking deck. I don't care what anybody says. This card, besides Keldo, this card's the best one. And then the last one is the one Agito. This is very standard. Any more than this is kind of eh. Only thing I would probably do if you had the room is one more Agito. I wouldn't max out on Agito because you don't want to mill that much. And this card already promotes that. This is actually just comes up in the late games if you want to try to make a rank 4. Or you want to mill this and you're desperate because you have bad luck like me, and you mill and then you mill this too, and then you mill again, you still don't hit nothing, and you need this to get you there. But the only time that ever really comes up is in non-mirror matches, but it still comes up from time to time. And then for the Bestials, I got 2 Magamut and 2 Drusworm. You don't need Sarnier. You're not playing the actual branded or package or anything, so that card doesn't really come up unless you're just trying to use it for another names, which I side one for that very reason. I'm even thought about like dropping this to 1 and putting this to 3. The reason why is because everyone's running Dark Charmer, and I don't want my opponent like plussing off of my Magnemite. So because I know I find myself all the time if I'm using my my ishizu cards to shuffle back, one of the first things I'm shuffling back is my own Magnemites if I don't have anything else I want to shuffle back, because I don't want them getting Dark Charmer and plussing off of my cards. So, I never find myself needing more than that in the main, because I do run this card, which is very skeptical to a lot of people, Herald of Orange Light. Mathematically, someone broke it down. I was watching this guy's video because I was going to do the math, but I suck at math. But with running 3 Herald, he said, I'm just going by what he said. You can probably do the math, and it might be the same, it might be different. I don't know. I'm just going by what that man said. You run 3 Heralds with your other fairies that you run, you have like a 24% chance going first to see this and another fairy, and then a 27% chance, I think, is going second. So it's very high to see us, and with everyone running, this is the best deck, and this is the deck that has a target on its back, whether it's from Konami or it's from the community. So everyone's trying to run decks that run shifter. So you need to have this for shifter or dweller. So that's where this comes up. And on top of that, in the finals, if you watched, I needed more damage to push for game. And since this is a tuner, I just normal summon this after I've already used Rule Callous effect. I just synchro this and Rule Callous away for my Baron. And then the card that everyone keeps cutting, which I literally don't understand why. This card is absolutely disgusting. There's sometimes I want to see it. I think I want to run it at 2, but I don't have room because I want to see access to this card. This card is disgusting. This card is literally send this and make it a 4. If you have your Guru on field, you can send this, make it a 4, synchro those away. You can send any of your ishizu cards. You need to mill. This is a Armageddonite, basically. You send this and you can start milling to get into your combo. You need a different name if you have a Keldo engraved. You can send this and now you have both engraved. It just provides so much. If you had the extra deck space, you can run Intis and use this. You can summon this back off Elf. Send Intis to pop a card. It goes off. So like, because I know a lot of people like, if you would try to change, if they would immediately go like the Bestials. Well, normally you end with a Merly engraved. They'll shotgun the Bestial to get rid of your Merly, and if you still have this engraved, you're fine because you could summon this and then send one of your send this and then start milling, and you're going to fuse on their turn regardless. So it just not really makes them go neg, but it makes them go neg. So like because this promotes a lot, and I don't understand why people are cutting it. It does so much, and then more Flunder hate / Dweller for the mirror. Droplet, and on top of that, what a lot of people forget about this card actually procs your ishizu cards. So if you open dead going second, you use this, negate their shit, and then you can send this from hand to mill 5. Make them mill 5, and you can mill 5, and you get in your combo before you even summon a card. So this is indirectly a starter too going second. So people forget about that. And on top of that, Droplet is just the best card. Last 2 cards in the deck is Terraforming and Future Banned Card of America. This card will 110% be banned in January. I'm willing to put money on it. This card will be banned. The fact that I can recycle it, it never feels like the card's at 1. It's disgusting. It's a 1-card kit. That's it for the main deck. 41. Not much I'll change about the main deck. The main deck I've worked on for a while. Token. For the links, we got Elf and Sprend. This is very standard. You need it. 1 dark, and then this is the flex spot. One of the flex spots, if not the flex spot. I run Borload because I'm afraid of Avermax. As someone running with Sprite or anything just to run Avermax, this kind of takes care of that situation for me. And it's just kind of big and it's nostalgic, and I haven't ran it in a while. That's it for the links. 1 kit, 1 Roll Kalos, 1 Cloud Heart, standard fusion lineup. Standard fusion lineup right here. But I am probably going to run a second one just because of my locals and everyone around me running Bestials. Not just because of my locals, but like I really want a second one anyways. It's my comfort blanket. That because it's broken. This card is absolutely disgusting. This card is disgusting. The fact that if they banish your kit and they have like a Bestial engraved, you can go dark, summon it, and then take one of your 6, whether it's Garua or your Bestial, make this, and then if Foolish your Crime, use this to send your Crime to put back your kit, and you're just back in the game just off of this card, and it can send a card on their turns that allows you to fuse even more. It's absolutely disgusting. And then the card that I'd probably make my second kit is this. The reason why is because like this is terrible in the mirror. And on top of that, with everything else other than it, so far, like I feel like this deck has a very good matchup against Rogue. So like this is not really needed. The only time this ever comes up is those decks that it's like anti-meta decks that just like running a million fucking floodgates because they don't know what else to do with their lives because they can't play any other deck. But that's probably gonna be my second kit. And then the last card is Baron because it's nice to have the access when they call fusion with like D-barrier or something. You have enough gas, you can still get to this. That's it for the extra deck. Clean 15, obviously. Side deck, mandatory. More Shifter hate, more Dweller hate, and just an overall very good go second card. And this is a level 2 tuner that you can bring back off of Elf. So if you have your 8 or whatever, your rank 8, Synchro 8, you can just bring this back and then Synchro for your Baron. This is for all the rogue decks, anti-spell. In theory, if you're going to a big event, I probably wouldn't run this. I'd run, what is it called? Dark Ruler no more. But this is still very good if you didn't want to run Dark Ruler. Both of them are very good options. The only reason why I say Dark Ruler is because one of my cards in my side deck that you'll see. Evenly for We don't have none here, but I do play at another local from time to time, and I don't know if they run it, but Sprite, Runic, and just everything else, and just generic, and it helps out a lot. Lightning Storm, Duster, SAR because it's a different name, and then Red Resonator. This is the card. The reason why I said I'll probably run Dark Ruler no more is because unlike the Volcanic card, this can play under Dark Ruler a lot better because you can Dark Ruler your opponent, and then you can just mill your ass off to get this in the grave, and then you can use Elf to bring this back, and then target one of your cards, and you gain life points. So instead of burning them, so in time, if you're still stuck in your main phase, you can still win after Dark Ruling them. So you can Dark Rule them. There's not many hand traps going around this format. So since there's no hand traps, all you got to do is deal with the board. And you deal with the board with Dark Ruler, and then you just go off. Just don't worry about nothing, just except getting this engraved and getting access to your Elf. So once you do that, you use Elf, bring this back, this target one of your cards, you gain life once you win the game in there. As where Volcanic has to burn, and with Dark Ruler you can't burn. So it's just something to take in consideration when you're doing it. But that's it for the main deck, extra deck, side deck that I've been running with. That's all. I love this deck. I really do. It gets a lot of hate, but I like it because it does different things different times. It's not the same dead combo every time. And people might say it is because I'm using the same cards to fuse. I don't care. But it's not. It's not like it's RNG based, but it still has consistency to where it's the same thing, if that makes sense. That's why I love the deck. But with that being said, guys, please hit the like button if you haven't already. Check the description for all the ways to support me. PayPal, Discord, Patreon, all the ways to support me down below. If you want help with training tips from just Pick My Brain even more, that's down there in the Patreon. But with that being said, I love you guys so much. Hit the like button. You all have a wonderful day, night, morning, evening, whenever you watch this video. Hope you all are staying safe out there in the age of COVID. It's your boy Brennan, a.k.a. Drip, and the rest of the DD signing out for Paradise. See you next time.